Okay, so I want to welcome everybody to the July 18th, 2023, 6:30 p.m. regular meeting of the City of Mercedes. Also, I'm excited to announce that we'll be airing this out on YouTube now. It's a little bit more of a robust system in Facebook as far as getting information and keeping it going with our internet service. So we're excited about that. So, if there's anybody out there on YouTube, we're happy that you're here. My first item is to call the meeting to order. I call the meeting to order. Item number 2, establish a quorum. We can start with you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Jacob Howell, present.
Commissioner Armando Garcia, present.
Commissioner Ruben Salazar, here.
Okay, I have Commissioner Martinez, who I believe is on his way. I'm Oscar Montoya, I'm the mayor, and I'm present. Also, I'm going to ask Commissioner Howell to do the invocation, but before we do that, I would ask that, I don't know, many know, but one of our former commissioners that served with us for a long time is sick. He's battling, and I call him compadre. He was actually my teacher, or back in the 70s in junior high. But Armando Lopez, we're asking for prayer for him. The good Lord is the one that makes decisions, and He's the one that decides who stays and who doesn't. So we're putting our trust in Him, and we want to send well wishes to compadre Armando Lopez, the former commissioner, and thank him for all his years of service, and that we're still praying for him. And I ask you all to pray for him when you get home tonight. We really appreciate it. And while you're there, anybody else who's suffering from these crazy illnesses. So I know we have a couple of survivors here.
Mayor, former mayor.
Oh yes, that's another one that the former mayor Castillo had passed away and served our community multiple times, and actually served us for a long time, even before and after. And so, I guess it's one of those things that let's get a little older and stuff like that. We got to say goodbye to people, but it's real good that we honor them. Thank you for that, Commissioner. Appreciate it. You want to say something? No, you don't mind, Commissioner Howell, please.
We can bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for uniting us here today. Asking you to bless the city, bless this community, bless us and those that need help, and guide us in wisdom to make decisions to better off this community and the lives of many. We ask for you to help those that are in need and those that need help and healing. Keep us going in unity, in love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Mayor Pro Tem, you don't mind leading us to the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have item number 5. We have presentations. Last time we tabled or postponed the recognition for our fire department because we were trying to hot off the presses. And we were Commissioner Howell was actually leading the charge on us doing the recognition for you all and all that you all do for our communities. And we appreciate that, Commissioner. And I have a personal thing on this. I've already talked about this many times, and I don't mind talking about it again. But as you all may know, one of my first acts as the mayor was to get my house burned down. And it's funny now, it wasn't too funny back then. But there was 2 things that happened that night of that fire. One was I got to watch our firefighters. Our police were out there too as well, but the firefighters were there, lickety split, working on my house, taking care of my parents. And I can't tell you how proud I was of them, of the way they treated my family, chief, lieutenant, the way they even, my boy was at some point, blaming himself. He didn't do anything wrong. And that was proven. I mean, at the end of the day, the fire caught on and there was just nothing we could do about it. And but the fire department tried like heck to save everything they could. And believe it or not, my dad's car was inside the garage and they managed to save that. It's still running. And that car's a 2007, so I don't know if it's a good thing that it's running or not, but it's running. But it was due to the hard work of our fire department, and I can't tell you how much my family appreciates and loves you guys, and we're just happy to have you all there. I was part of I'm not as young as Jacob is, Commissioner Howell, but I rode in the back of those trucks back when we were allowed to do that. And I know John David and some of the guys here remember getting Howard what was the name of that? What was that truck number? The one that if you hit the brakes a little too hard, all the water would come out of the tanker, the driver. So we had some changes, man. There's been a lot of changes. I think we've come a long way. But I got to tell you, I'm very proud of you guys. I think we all are, as a commission, very proud of the fire department and what they do for us. And I think it's apropos that we recognize you guys in this proclamation. And then the second thing that happened, which I think goes to the volunteerism here, was the amount of people that came out from this, just regular citizens, to come to our aid, to our house. You know, Jose's on top of the fire department side, but they opened up their house to our family, a house that's really, really nice that they put a lot of money into. They opened it up for the public. We had people bringing waters and all kinds of stuff to our family and offered all kinds of help. I just can't tell you how proud I am of Mercedes. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read this proclamation, and then Commissioner Howell will let you say a few words to them, especially since you're part of it. This is from the Office of the Mayor, and of course, this is on behalf of the whole City Commission, not just myself. The City of Mercedes, and it's a proclamation. Whereas the volunteer firefighters and support personnel of the City of Mercedes serve an essential day-to-day role in the protection of lives and property in the City of Mercedes. And the citizens of the respective communities hold the volunteer fire service and support staff in the highest esteem and reverence. And whereas the City Commission recognizes and commends the service of all volunteers of City, both past and present, and whereas the volunteers deserve recognition for their professionalism, skills, and training, and whereas it is of major importance that we increase our efforts to reduce deaths, injuries, property losses from fire, and now, therefore, be it proclaimed, it is with great pride and honor that I, Oscar D. Montoya, Mayor of the great city of the City Commission of the great City of Mercedes, now call upon all citizens of the City of Mercedes and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe and recognize the patriotic service and dedicated efforts of our volunteer firefighting personnel. And I respectfully encourage the citizens of Mercedes to remember all fire and emergency personnel who have made the sacrifice and dedication to effortlessly respond to tragic events with courage, selfless compassion, and determination and skill. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Mercedes to be affixed this 18th day of July 2023. Congratulations to the Mercedes Fire Department personnel. So I'm going to sign this. Normally we take pictures, but I think it's important enough that if anybody wants to say anything from the commission, and then stay up there, Chief. To go ahead and start. I'll start with you, Commissioner.
I'll say just a very few words. One, I want to thank the commission, mayor. We were totally all in agreement when I mentioned this. They were all for this. It was total team and effort. We really appreciate you, the volunteer firefighters, and the department. But we also want to thank Chief Campos for bringing this tradition and department back. There's this being just a small part of this, of you guys' brotherhood. You understand and you look. It's just so much tradition, and you appreciate the hard work and dedication that many of you and all of you put. There's many that are passed, unfortunately have gone, and there's some that are ill right now, and we're praying for those. And there's some that are still obviously currently serving and continue to serve our community. So from the bottom of my heart and of course of the commission, we want to thank you for your dedication and commitment to the city and community of Mercedes. Many of you are just, we're volunteers, you're volunteers, you do dual roles, border patrol, educators, teachers, entrepreneur, businessmen, pastors. These dual roles, your fathers, brothers, you are part of the gatekeepers of this community. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, this commission thanks you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Go ahead.
So, I want to go ahead and thank everybody for many years. The volunteers, firefighters here in Mercedes was the only, that was all we had here until we finally got a full force. And for many years it was 2 men, 8 to 5, and after 5 o'clock, the volunteers came in when that bell rang. So it takes a special person to do what you all do, getting up in the middle of the night when there's calls. So on behalf of myself, the city commission, we thank you all for your selfless efforts.
All I'll add is that we've started as a commission, sort of like a little weekly feature in the Mercedes Enterprise. And coincidentally, this week's feature is the fire department. That was not by design, that was by accident. But it's good Lord knows what he does. And you know, in there we highlight a lot of the things, the investments that have been made in the fire department and some of the you know, the aspects of the fire department that have been beefed up here recently with some of the investments from the city. And so I invite everybody to kind of check that out a little bit. It's just kind of a tip of the iceberg, but it's a nice little story that we hope people that are not able to view this tonight will be able to read through and learn a little bit about, so they can grow to appreciate, you know, how far we've come and the great fire department that we have in this small, humble, but very proud town.
The record reflect that Commissioner Joe Martinez is present, and Commissioner, you have something to say?
I don't know how I follow these three smooth talkers. It's my understanding that the American Volunteer Firefighter has been in existence since 1746, my understanding. It's a very long time, and it takes a group of brave individuals, both male and female, of course, that take time out of their personal time to go and fight these fires. A story that always sticks in my head, and it's funny that I'm seeing Mrs. Wade here, is she would tell me about how Howard would come in after fighting a fire, right, smelling like smoke. It'd be like 6 o'clock in the morning, he'd be fighting it the whole night, and then he'd have to wake up to go to the telephone company and go put in those 8 hours worth of work. But that goes to show you the type of sacrifice that these individuals do. Volunteers, not taking away anything from our staff, but the volunteer group is a special group. It's brotherhood and sisterhood of unique individuals that give their full heart into this. You have to be into it, right? You have to have the heart to serve. It's not easy to be away from your family in all hours of the night. So I would tell you guys, thank you just for always being ready to just jump into action. Those that have served before, and those that will serve now, and those that will serve tomorrow. Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. Every citizen of Mercedes thanks you, because we know that should a fire arrive, you guys are ready to respond to that call. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm sure your long-awaited speech there, Chief.
Oh, thank you, Commissioners, Mayor, citizens of Mercedes. For the record, Fire Chief Javier Campos, Mercedes Fire Department. I'd like to call our volunteer firefighters to the front before us.
Absolutely. Please join us up front.
It's an honor honor to stand here and recognize our Mercedes volunteer firefighters, both past and present. The Mercedes Fire Department was established in 1909 and has been strong since then. While thousands of incidents have occurred within our community, know that our dedicated firefighters have always been able to answer the call. From crop duster crashes to warehouse fires along the railroad tracks, our volunteer firefighters never hesitated to answer the call. The entire community knew that when they heard the loud siren go off, they knew our brave men and women were headed to answer the call of service. In 2018, our volunteer firefighters were a majority of our department personnel. Even though we have seen an increase of paid staff, which is now 80% of our staff, I know that our volunteer firefighters will always be our backbone of our department, not only to provide assistance and manpower, but to maintain the strong history and tradition within our department. These men and women go above and beyond, even at times of leading family events, gatherings, birthdays, holidays, leaving loved ones at home at the middle of the night, and especially wedding anniversaries, correct? When the call needs to be answered. Mayor, Commission, as Chief of the Mercedes Fire Department, I want to take the time to formally thank and recognize these young men and women of the Mercedes Volunteer Fire Department. Thank you. I'll have Mr. Noasa. He's our lieutenant for Volunteer Fire.
I just want to say a couple of things. I'm kind of like wanted to acknowledge some of the legends that we have here. There's some old time guys that have been here from the very beginning that we just kind of in the shadows to Mr. Howard Wade.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir. All right. They were here from the very beginning. They bring a lot to the table. They brought a lot to the table to the city of Mercedes. Also, want to throw this out to the wives. That's just like Chief was saying. We've gone on anniversaries. I was sitting, eating, Thanksgiving. Hey, the call came out. We had to go. So thanks to them, we want to get around the and then we actually called also in the middle of the night. And I want to thank you guys very much.
Finally, before we present some pictures, I want to thank our past commission and our present commission for always supporting not only our fire department, but our volunteer fire department. I know you always have our backs. Just a quick history, in 1984, the city council moved forward on a retirement system for our volunteer firefighters. And to this day, our city is still contributing to the pension. Today, we have 18 past volunteer firefighters who are receiving the pension. So I want to thank the city of Mercedes.
Oh, well deserved. Now what politicians do best, we're gonna take a picture with the guests. Thank you, team. Take care, guys. God bless y'all. See you. Thank you. All right, moving on to item B, presentation to Texas Children in Nature Network, Rio Grande Valley Health and Nature Liaison regarding children's outdoor bill of rights.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. So the Dr. Hector P. Garcia Memorial Library has been working with the Texas Children in Nature since September of 2022. After a presentation by Ms. Marisa Oliva, who is here right now, she's represented to the Hidalgo County Library System, and I became very interested in becoming a nature smart library. The partnership was one of 6 public libraries in Rio Grande Valley to receive LEAP backpacks, which I know many of you attended that event, and they were funded by Driscoll Health. So the next item that we are tackling is on the city and regional level is the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. At this point, we've been doing surveys of our community, but the plan is also to create a resource map and try to establish partnerships and have this guide us on how we create plans for our children to be connected to nature. But really the one who can present it better is Ms. Marisa Oliva, and she's here with us tonight, so she's going to do a quick presentation for you.
Welcome, Ms. Oliva.
Hello, Mayor, Commissioners, thank you so much for having me. And my name is Marisa Oliva, and Marisol here has been a wonderful a partner. The library's been a partner, and we do have 43 backpacks out in circulation right now. And we actually have, thanks to Marisol, a few more libraries who are interested, and so we're looking forward to adding them as well. And these backpacks are going out to library patrons here in Hidalgo and in Cameron County. And we're getting a lot of positive feedback, so we're very appreciative of Mercedes participating in this program. But one of the things, as Marisol has said, through the Texas Children Nature Network, we have a regional partnership where we're meeting with partners across the valley, and we've been meeting this past year to establish what is the regional initiative that we wanted to really chase after in order to get more kids out in nature. We understand that our children are inside a lot more than when we grew up. Therefore, they're not physically active. There's a lot of health issues that are happening, higher obesity rates, higher mental strain, a lot of other health issues that are happening at a younger age that impact them for a lifetime. So the Department of Health has actually provided funding to tackle this issue in the work with Texas Parks and Wildlife. And together with our partners, we've looked at a lot of different ideas, but what our partners have wanted to do was this Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. And so what we're doing is through our partners, we're asking cities to establish the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights, and it is basically a guiding document or program that the cities and their community partners utilize in order to determine this is what is important to our community and to our children and to get them outside. And so I'm going to go a little bit through what's happening here, here in the Valley, and also give examples of what we're doing, what's happening across the nation, because this is not a new idea. This is happening in cities and states across the United States. It's also being adopted in cities here in Texas, and so it's hopefully something that we will also adopt here in the Valley with, of course, your leadership and guidance. So, you guys see me? So I'm going to have to use my glasses because I can't read very well. So the Children Outdoor Bill of Rights, also known as COBOR, it is an initiative through the Children in Nature Network and the National League of Cities. And it is designed to promote equitable access to nature by establishing a common foundation and high aspirations for nature connections within the community. Monica Lopez McGee, who is a director for the Cities and Community Engagement Network, says it's about galvanizing residents and partners to bring about programs, policies, funding, activities needed to help children develop a relationship with nature. So what is COBOR? It is a list of outdoor experiences that every child has a right to experience. It can be a public-facing symbol of the overarching goals of the city or state for children's outdoor experience. Here in Mercedes, across the valley, we know that the livestock show is a very important element, and through that livestock show, there are the garden clubs and lots of different organizations and raising animals and understanding wildlife. So I can see something of that being of value and adopted into a children's outdoor bill of rights. It can tie into what already exists in Mercedes and just brings it forward. It's also a messaging tool that raises awareness of the importance of children's connection to nature. It's something that not only we're hoping Mercedes will, once we establish one, will advertise it here on your YouTube channel, on different networks, but we're also looking to do this region, across the entire region. So this is something that we'll be promoting and have this message across the valley of how important it is for our children to engage in nature. And it can be adopted in several ways. In some areas, it's been a mayoral proclamation. Others, it's been a city council resolution or a value statement. And in Salt Lake City, which I'll show you in a little while, it's also been a framework for a program they run. So it depends on the city and how you want to present this to the public. Who's engaged? In order to really develop a COBOR, this is not something that a person would say, oh, here's a rights that we want to have for children. It's actually a community engaged process. So you want to make sure that you have your families involved, of course, mayor and city council, government agencies, your nonprofit partners. I believe here we have, at the table, we have Leadership Mercedes, and so they would be a wonderful partner. Parks and Rec Department would also be a wonderful partner in this. All different groups that work with children, and especially getting children outdoors in nature. The benefits are that you articulate the community's commitment to equitable access to nature for all children. As we know here in the Valley, we have a lot of children who live in poverty, who are at risk, and those are the children we want to make sure we reach. So that's why the library, which offers these backpacks for free, offers resource free, is such a wonderful partner. And it will help galvanize the community's leadership around a shared vision. Whatever this city, this community decides, these are the things that are important to us, is what is embraced. And of course, it raises the awareness of the benefits of children's nature connection. And again, there's a lot of research out there showing how much our children have been suffering because they are not getting to spend that time in nature. Whether it's the lack of recess in school, working parents who aren't able to take their children out, or just, time constraints that families have where they're just not able to engage in the outdoor nature play, again, like we did when we were younger. Related city priorities. So again, I know the livestock show is very important to this community, and there's probably a lot of other priorities that you as the city have decided upon. COBOR can include all that. So if you have a vision for equity and inclusion, for family and community engagement, for youth development, for developing more parks and green spaces, or if you're a part of a regional trail system, all of that can be incorporated into your Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. Some of the lessons learned in producing these COBORs across the country. COBOR conversations provide an opportunity to launch or reinforce a citywide collaboration. Efforts to develop a COBOR allow partnerships between school districts, county health departments, federal partners, grassroots collaboratives, and others create a citywide vision. And that's a lot of what our TSAN network is, so if anybody would like to join us, we do have partners from all aspects of our community together engaged in this issue. COBORs can also serve as a platform to launch or promote a new initiative or program. The cities can use these to launch COBOR as an opportunity to highlight other nature connection programs, such as if you're incorporating green schoolyards, or in outdoor nature programs, or nature smart libraries, as we're starting to work. COBORs can be a part of that. And developing COBOR with an eye towards equity, again, looking at some of our most vulnerable populations of youth, utilizing COBOR to make sure that those children have access to nature and the outdoors and all of these wonderful programs. So I have a couple of examples of COBORs that are happening around the country. You can actually just Google Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights and you'll see a lot of the programs that exist. These are a couple. In San Francisco in 2014, they passed the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights as a resolution. Austin, Texas, one of our local cities, I believe it's the first city in Texas to pass a COBOR. They did it in 2017 as a resolution. And it is a guiding force for the city and as far as the programs that they adopt and the partnerships that they have. Salt Lake City, that's actually one of the most, one I really love. It's adopted as a program across the community in collaboration with many partners. And in Baltimore, it was a proclamation done by the mayor. So there's lots of different ways it can be done. And then just some of the highlights. So this is, you can see on the left-hand side, this is a Salt Lake City's COBOR document. Again, they've activated it as a program. And so what they do is children who participate in programs in one of these rights, for example, it's hard to see there, but it's in the page. There's catch a bug, follow a foothill trail. Of course, they have mountains, we don't. Observe a starry sky, splash in a stream, paddle a boat. Of course, these are adopted for the community that you're in, but all of these rights, if a child participates in a program within Salt Lake City at a partner site, at a library, within Parks and Rec, they earn these stickers, and so they have a little nature journal that goes along with it, and they promote it all across the city. And so that's one way that you could have it. Or it's something, you know, we might consider at our county level as well. In Austin, this is their Outdoor Bill of Rights, and you can see here in which every child has a right to climb a tree, catch a fish, picnic in a park, hike a trail, ride a bike, splash in a creek or river, discover plants or wildlife, play in the sand and mud, gaze at a night sky, chase a firefly, plant a seed and watch it grow, harvest or eat a fruit or vegetable. And as you can see, these rights are not very complex, they're very short, they're very active, and it's something that everyone, you know, from the littlest child on can understand. There's also another example, I believe, or is that, oh, this is something that I presented, and you'll have it here, I won't go through it all, but this is something that I presented to our TSAN team. And this is what we're going through, who we're engaging, how we're doing the survey. So that's the process that we're in now. We have, as a group, decided that we would like all the cities who are adopting COBORs to launch this in March of 2024. So that is our goal that we're going to launch together. So hopefully Mercedes will be part of that. And so from now until then, what we're doing is building our partnerships and doing surveys across the community to get our children and our families' input as to what's important to them. And I think you have the survey. Okay, she'll go through that. And, oh, this is, yeah, the last one is San Francisco. So this is San Francisco's Outdoor Bill of Rights. Theirs is a little bit different. I wanted to give all of our cities just different ideas. So in this one, in which every child has a right to explore all the wild places in the city, harvest and eat a fruit or vegetable, plant a seed and watch it grow, visit and care for a local park, splash in an ocean or bay, play in the sand and mud, discover urban wildlife, sleep under the stars, climb a tree, ride a bike. So these are the things. Now, if you look at San Francisco, they actually had 100 rights that they originally drafted, and then they were able to bring it down to these. And usually it's about 10 rights that are identified within a community. So if you have this is a video. Does the video work? Okay, so this video, just to tell you, in the city of Rochester, they are currently working on developing their Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. And what they did is they have a youth commission, and this is a video that they put out where they're gathering input right now.
We are a part of Youth Voice One Vision. We want to talk to you about nature.
Did you know kids today only spend 4 to 7 minutes a day outside and over 7 hours in front of a screen? Kids today have become more attached to their screen and removed from their natural environment. Spending time outside has tons of benefits.
Spending time in nature reduces stress, anxiety, and promotes positive moods. And with more interaction with people, can build social skills.
A lack of physical activity has led to serious health problems for too many children, putting them at risk for chronic disease. Going outside helps build patterns of physical activity and makes kids healthier.
Nature makes kids smarter. Study shows when kids learn and play in natural environments, we see improved performance in things like reading, math, science, and social studies.
Time spent in nature encourages people to care about the living world around them more. That's why it's important to expose kids to nature at early ages, because the experiences when we are young are the single biggest factors affecting our attitudes towards nature as adults.
So what are we going to do about it? We're going to make sure that all kids have a chance to get outside and explore a clean and healthy environment. We are creating a Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights.
A Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights is a list of activities that all youth should have the opportunity to participate in. We're making this list because we want kids and parents to know how important it is to get outside and connect to nature. We're hoping to use this list to break down barriers to nature for the children in Rochester.
Nature to me is drinking a cold glass of lemonade on a hot summer day.
Nature is riding your bike through the city.
Nature is calming.
Nature is picnics in a park. Thanks for watching and sharing your input with us. To learn more and get involved, click the link below. Screen. Kids today have become more attached to
That gives you an idea of what it takes to develop a Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. And again, Michael has been a part of our collaboration here for the past year. And we are hoping this is something that the City of Mercedes is interested in doing for their children and being a part of, and hopefully bringing in the partners within the city.
I think it's awesome. Just need to add on the fishing, must catch a fish from a local canal. So we got plenty of canals here for taking that. No, I think it's awesome. That's awesome.
And right now we are doing the survey. I think I attached the survey. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I did it at our summer.
Not the results, but just the.
No, because we were barely gathering,
Okay.
so I got some at the summer reading program. I'm gonna participate in the, back to school bash, so when we're giving out stuff there, I'm gonna try to do some more surveys there, because I wanna have a good amount of input to what people think is important here, or what the kids are already doing here, so that way it incorporates what we already have, and then try to get other agencies involved
And also the organizations, I don't know, did Leo leave already? I know the Lions Club, the veterans, there's a lot of groups out there that are real active doing stuff, you know, maybe,
The canal,
the dock over here, the canal fishing, well, that's what I was thinking about. The Lions have that canal fishing program. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, they have it once a year, and it actually, people show up and they win prizes.
well, in the irrigation district has talked about using the canal as a bike path and that kind of thing.
Like more active.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Anything
a better resource to the community.
anything that would get the kids out and active, congratulations on doing that, and I'm glad you're putting in for it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, we appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
So, don't have anybody signed up? Councilman? Moving on to item number 7, thank you both.
Thank you all.
Moving on to consent agenda, we have approval of minutes for the meeting held July 5th, and then approval of budget amendments. I don't know if anybody wants to take them both together or separate them.
Mayor, make a motion to approve both items.
Second. We have a motion to approve item A and B by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item number 8, ordinances, resolutions, present, discuss, consider, and possibly take action regarding approval of resolution 2023-16 in support of suspending the TGS statement of intent to increase rates.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. That's yours.
I didn't know they.
We have to make some type of motion for discussion, or discuss about it, or some information on it.
TGS statement of intent to increase rates.
Well,
There we go.
The Texas Gas Service has submitted a rate increase for rates. And this resolution is just to suspend, all the cities are getting together to suspend that rate increase on gas prices.
Have they given, is it, go ahead.
Well, I didn't read all of it. There's a lot to read.
Yes.
But they're going up 25%, what I understand. And statutorily, they require us, they require that local governance has the ability to suspend rate increases for 90 days. I don't know, while we look and see whatever it is we're gonna see about that, that's kind of the question mark. So it sounds like they're going up on their rates, and best we can do is a 90-day, well, yeah, 90 days to get everybody ready for it, 'cause it's gonna happen anyway, unless there's something that would come of whatever it is that we look at, so.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, and I'm a gas user, but we had to do the same thing here for water rates, and I don't know, just systematically being against any rate increase without knowing why they're doing it or what their needs are and all that stuff, I don't think is a super great idea, so.
This was discussed, Mayor, at the meeting that I attended before you. And, most of the other, mayors that were present, were in agreement to go ahead and, because it's a big increase.
I don't know if we would be better served discussing the amount of the increase. I mean, everybody's gotta do what they gotta do to survive. And, but at any rate, I mean,
I'll make a-
pleasure the commission is.
Well,
I make a motion for approval to suspend for further information as well. But if you think about who are majority of our gas users, those are gonna be your elderly, your older homes. And so I think it's, like you mentioned, Mayor, I think it's very critical for us to get more information, why, and more details on this increase.
Yeah, and I don't wanna
suspend it for the 90 days till we get more details. I think that'd be great, then we could come back, circle back around and see
I
what.
have a question.
hang on a second, I got a motion on the floor. I have a
a
motion.
second.
I have a second, go ahead, Commissioner.
So just so we're clear, we're just doing something in camaraderie with the other cities, but at the end of the day, Texas Gas Service is gonna do exactly what Texas Gas Service is gonna do, is that correct? Like, there's nothing here that's gonna come out of it.
This still has to be approved by the Railroad Commission,
Okay.
so that's, yeah.
So
This is just our way in saying, hey, we don't agree with these rates. But it's not just us, it's other cities that are joining in this.
The city of McAllen is taking the lead on this.
So, I mean, in the last part here, it basically suspends their effective date, otherwise it passes administratively. And during that time, it talks about what Commissioner Howell touched on, allows cities to evaluate the filing and determine whether filing complies with the law. And if it's lawful, they determine what further strategies to pursue.
I wanna make sure
I
that,
know what the end game is gonna be, because.
well,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm trying to get
I don't
to.
mind standing in solidarity with other cities, but what's gonna be the end game here? What's our objective?
So the goal of me bringing up what I'm bringing up is this. I don't believe in just arbitrarily being against something or for something just for the sake of it. The question is here, do we have any authority to make a decision or to help this along? And if we do, I would rather discuss how much they're gonna go up rather than just flat out no. I mean, I'm a businessman or a former businessman, and I understand you have to have money coming in or they're not gonna have a product. But to just say they're gonna go up 25%, we're against it or for it, I don't think it's the right thing. So I think what we're asking here is, if I'm correct with the motions, is that we accept the suspension.
Correct.
So that we can look into it and maybe get more involved in the decision-making process.
And the bottom line is there's a filing where Texas Gas Service has asserted that it is entitled to $10 million in added revenues, which is a 25% increase over current adjusted revenues.
Nice.
Nice. Wish we could all do that. And this is just a 90-day suspension, so we can have time to go in and look and see if that's justified and what all the regulatory authorities can do it. And there's, I mean, from A to Z, from Alamo all the way to Weslaco, they're all involved. So it's a no-brainer, I think, to support the resolution, and whatever happens, I don't know. I'm glad there's so many cities in there, because I guess if there's any way to alleviate that, somebody will figure it out somewhere.
Well, that somebody is my concern. We do this thing and nobody follows up and does anything, then we just wasted a vote on nothing. So at the end of the day, if we're gonna do this, it's gonna be to get involved and get with our state legislators or whoever we're gonna get involved in and send letters and say, hey guys, why 25%? Why 10 million? Right now is not the time, something to that.
Well, Commissioner Garcia seems to be well versed in that.
There you go.
So give him the Mercedes flag and let him charge up the hill with it.
Thank you for going to the meeting. You did a good job there, man. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Moving on to, management items. Present, discuss, consider and possibly take action regarding approval of new appointment of members to the Keep Mercedes Beautiful Committee.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the application for Ms. Lauren Harold, please.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to item 10, bids and contracts. Present, discuss, consider, possibly take action regarding review of contracts. We have to go through each one individually, so I'll start with item number 1, which is oil patch fuel purchase supplier, and that expires on 12/31 of 2022. It's an old one that we need to decide on to either continue on or.
I make the city manager or purchasing agent, what's the recommendation for that?
Make a motion to accept, Mayor.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez,
Second.
second by Commissioner Howell. Any discussion?
My understanding, Mayor, is that this is just, it seems like it's just a certification that we will use the fuel in accordance with.
Well, we could go, the other thing was we could go out again if we're unhappy with the service and go out for bids or whatever, but I don't think that's the case, right? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Item number 2, Norton Rose Fulbright Bond Council. That's a new council, right?
Yes.
Last year was the first year. How are they doing?
Good. Have a recommendation? Sure.
Make a motion to accept.
Have a motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Mayor Pro Tem. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 3, Freeze Nichols Engineering, that also expiration 8/31/2023.
They've been doing good, Mayor. We should recommend.
Okay, I have a recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Saldana, Mayor Pro Tem Saldana, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5, Garber Engineering.
Let's skip number
Same.
4.
Anybody making a motion?
I move we approve Garver for geotechnical.
All right, motion by Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem Saldana, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have item number 6, Rio Delta Engineering. I'm sorry?
We went by
Oh.
skill number 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item number 4, Guzman and Munoz Engineering.
Mayor, make a motion to accept.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I'm sorry, and I left out on 6, right? Rio Delta Engineering? Number 6, Rio Delta Engineering.
Make a motion, Mayor, to accept.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez.
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Do you have any issues at all? No, sorry, make sure you tell us, okay. We have number 7, SDI Engineering. Same thing.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, do I have a second? Do I have second by Commissioner Howell, any discussion? What does SDI stand for? Anyway, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 8, Garcia Infrastructure Engineering.
First recommendation, make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Howell, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Item number 9, Atlas Engineering.
Mayor, make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Saldana, Mayor Pro Tem Saldana, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 10, Supreme Engineering.
Mayor, make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Martinez,
Second.
second Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion?
Have we used them yet or no?
They're scheduled.
Scheduled, okay.
I think, and I guess,
It depends on the project and
that's what I was gonna say, I think to the people who may be watching out there, this whole process of having more engineers was because of the potential growth and the stuff that was going on in the city. And so we needed a group of different environments to be able to do this, so that's where we're doing what we're doing.
So like, for example.
But we are on rotation, right? We're not
Yeah.
just favoring one over the
No,
other.
like Freeze and Nichols, they're experts in wastewater, and they helped us in the lawsuit.
But is there more than one, or are we just using one particular?
Well, in that lawsuit, there was only one lawsuit.
But you're talking in general, yeah, not the wastewater.
Yes,
I guess what I'm saying is, will we giving everybody, because that was the idea too, was
we try to use what they're strong at, please, into that.
In addition to that, I kind of improve the efficiency. We have there's plenty of work to go around. If there's work going on over here, we need something over here. It saves time management, and we get the ball rolling for our communities.
Well, and one of the things we hear, we tend to hear is, we'll get around to it, we're overwhelmed with work right now. So I think having additional engineering firms gives us the option of saying, well, if you don't have time, we've got somebody that does.
I think it's best for us to make notations throughout the year of how these performances are going, they have the best service when we're making these decisions.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not trying to say that there's any one company in particular, but we should have one that just has recurring issues, and when we come to this point, we need to consider if that's something that we want to continue with, or they will better serve with others, right? So
And I think I think Commissioner, to your point, as a commission, I think we've come to a point now where we're trying to fix some of these, I don't wanna say it was wrong before, but we've gotten better at this. Like before, if I remember correctly, since I've been on here, we would get hit up with, hey, this one is due next month in 30 days, so we were stuck with, and now I think the city manager and our staff has given us a picture of where we're at, and then maybe next year we can go to the next level and get, like you're saying, standardized. Hey, how are they doing? How are things going? Evaluation process. Yeah.
I just think that.
I think it's a step in the right
Well,
direction.
for sure, because, after a while, just improving, some, I'm not saying anybody in particular, but some would be just doing the bare minimum, right? We always want the best, right? So it's always good to have those parameters to know wherever we're making these decisions. Okay, are you keeping up with requests, and more importantly, are they communicating with our staff, and what's their customer service like? That to me is a big thing, not just the job, but how are we engaging with them, or how are they engaging with us, are they giving us the information that we need, because it all goes hand in hand to a lot of what we're trying to accomplish, right, so.
And understand some of those projects are currently underway.
Oh, for sure.
For example, the wastewater connection to the Countryside Terrace area. That's gonna be another 6 to 12 months before we wrap that up.
Yeah.
The infrastructure from the drainage improvements and all that, any road improvements, so each one has a role right now. And some of those projects have a long ways to go before we can finalize it. So for us to tell you, we can tell you if there's any issues, and what they are, but not a complete evaluation of the overall.
I think like those things that come up, city manager, those are
Yes.
those are understandable, but what I'm talking about is how they perform, are we seeing one thing over and over again? Sure, of course, in certain projects, but I think more importantly, the information or, the communication between that particular company and our city hall makes a big difference.
Correct.
Well, especially now that we're gonna start, pursuing more projects, a lot of their information, my understanding, goes into these grants that we're gonna be pursuing. And so we need that information now.
Correct.
So it's just something to consider.
And these are all one-year contracts, or, because there's a list of all of these expiring 8/31, or at least on the engineering
Yes.
side. So this is gonna roll them over to 8/31 of 24.
Correct. I believe when we first started, we said that we wanted to do a year, because that way we could, should we unfortunately sign with somebody bad, we would have the ability to kind of.
And almost every contract, I'm pretty sure it's every contract has an extension period of either 2, 3, or 4 years, whatever it is. So, most of these things are not meant to be changed out every year, they're just meant to look at, but it's all
checking in.
checking in, so. And I think, like I said, as we get closer on, instead of doing this in the middle of July for 8/31, is that we do it in May or June.
So if we're not happy, we've got time to do something about it.
Yes, otherwise you're just reaching out. Yes. So, but I will say we're getting a lot better. You're beating the commissioner. Throw out the corn, see what pops show up, yeah. Yeah. So we're on item 10, Supreme Engineering. Do I have a motion and a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. On item 11, SWG Engineering.
I move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Saldana, I have a second by Commissioner Martinez. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed, same sign. Item number 12, Ambiotech Group Engineering. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana, second by Commissioner Martinez. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed, same sign. Item 13, Dawson Engineering.
Mayor, make a motion.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Garcia, second by Commissioner Martinez, is that all right, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and then moving on to the Geotech groups, we have Rama Krishna, Geotech.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Garcia, that's okay? I know you make the motion. You second it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 15, Terracon Geotech. Motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 16, Meg Geotech.
Make a motion to approve it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then on the final of the Geotech was item 17, B to Z Geotech. Motion to approve. I have a motion to approve by Dr. Saldana, second by Commissioner Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Sorry, Mayor Pro Tem, I keep changing your titles. You have a bunch of. Okay, where is it? Do I need that before this? Before I finish? I mean, that's it. Okay. Excuse me just a second.
Addendum.
All right, moving on to item number 18, Westaco City of Animal Impoundment Fees.
I move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Saldana, second by Commissioner Martinez. Discussion.
Yes.
Okay, the motion guy first, go ahead.
Okay. Well, more of a request, and as I was looking through all the fees and everything, it just, I guess one that was surprising to me is that any resident Mercedes can take any animal over to the city of Westaco and, or, what do you call this, relinquish ownership, and the fees associated with all that stuff. I'm just curious what our bill is, in a given year. So at some point in the future, it'd be good. Yeah, breakdown of what that's costing so that we can compare that maybe to, at some point in the future, roll that into plans when we have the money to try to do something of our own. But that was my only comment.
So, yes, I know it's something that's, we've discussed prior.
Hang on a second.
No, I just wanted to clarify this question. So we're, city's being charged every time the citizen's taking an animal.
Well, yeah, every time an animal from City Mercedes goes, there's a fee for this, there's a fee for that, there's a fee for.
And by the way, that's standard across the industry.
Right, and it's inexpensive. I'm not saying that their fees are unreasonable or anything like that, and at the end of the day, it may actually be more cost effective to do that than, than to build our own animal facility, but, I know it's not cheap to do that, so, yeah.
So just so everybody knows, the county is looking at going on themselves, trying to get together with McAllen and everybody else because there's just no place to take the animals. And so a lot of the shelters become a no-kill shelter. It becomes an even bigger problem that they don't have a place to put these animals, so they're trying to send them outside of the area. And so it's a huge cost to drop everything. Commissioner, I'm sorry.
Okay, yes, no problem. So I understand prior, we have had these discussions. One, our animal control has done a tremendous job getting these animals and our residents to these shelters. One of the problems is these shelters are full already. I had a resident contact me the other day because they tried to leave a dog and they couldn't accept it because they were full. The same thing with McAllen. But I know, like Mayor Pro Tem Saldana was saying with these fees, they're adding up, and prior to him and his guys coming in, we've had these discussions, these fees add up. So it's a short-term solution. I know right now there's nothing that we're limited. Our hands are tied behind our back. We appreciate the service that Westaco is able to provide for us, and we're able to do for our residents. That service to take our dogs or whatever animals to those shelters, but the fees are adding up. These costs are adding up. I think some type of cost analysis would be good. It's a short-term band-aid, but long-term, we're gonna have to figure this out. Either make our own shelter, like he mentioned, or something. But I know right now we're limited.
We got a good numbers guy, so.
So we can propose to you setting up a shelter what it takes to run.
Yeah, that we can kind of look.
And that's an option, yeah.
Compared to what we
Yeah, it may be working out, may not, and that way we can talk, present it to our residents and say, look, I know we're spending, but long-term is not worth it, or it would be worth it. So,
or even maybe a third option of offering to pitch in for expansion at a Westaco or somewhere else and say, hey,
partnership or something.
with some of it. I would say whatever you guys can find. And then just to clarify on the animals being turned in, I want to make sure that we explain to the citizens it's not necessarily a burden on the city that we're paying for that, it's a service that we're paying because there's people who have an animal that they don't know what to do with, or somebody dumped it in front of their house. And if we had our own, that would be one of the services that we'd probably offer, because otherwise we'll be chasing that dog because they're just gonna cut him loose on the street. So it's a very necessary, part of the process that people can take an animal, to turn it in. So I did not know that Wesco was full. I knew McAllen, I knew all those were full. I didn't know
Yeah,
Wesco.
and after time, and prior, when this came up prior, I voted against it because of the cost, not that I was against it, but like, it's a service, and there's nothing that we can do, so we gotta just kinda look at what options, we can be able to do long term.
And with that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say, in other words, we got no place to go. But so we thank them for that. All of this, motion carries. Moving on to item 19, Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott LLC. Motion Commissioner Saldana, seconded by, Commissioner Howe, seconded by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
One thing, Mayor, much like on the city of Wesco thing, we need to update our point of contact on that contract. I know that's last year's, but we're still got like 2 public works directors back listed on there, so we wanna make sure we got the right person listed there. And then.
That's on this one, on the Purdue Brandon, or are you talking?
No, I'm talking about the Wesco, yeah, maybe I'm out of line there, but on the Purdue one, substantively, I don't have any questions about that, but there's language, I mean, this is kind of it looks like it's a really dated, old contract, so maybe we need to update the contract. We could use the same, but it's a 2016 contract, and then there's language in there that goes all the way back to 2003, and it says that, we
did visit with.
Okay, good.
We do about that, and there is an auto one-year renewal, but we did think, let's start bringing this together and maybe update it.
Yeah.
Is that something that has to wait for the next renewal?
Subject to change.
I think it should.
Yeah, we
so
can always
have-
bring it back.
All right, but for today, we're doing an extension, right? All right, so I have a motion and second already, right? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 20, TML IRP liability, E&O, physical property, mobile, and flood. Is approved.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Garcia, do I have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana?
Is that for both, for auto and for real property, or? Because there's 2 different ones.
You know, you're waiting around to see what we clap for you, or?
Yes, we did. Didn't know that here, I understand. Anyway, thank you all, gentlemen, we'll get together so we can,
One, just real quick, guys, we appreciate the service that you do. We looked at the numbers in the books. One, there's increases in collections, but most importantly, there's also increase in settlements. So that means you're giving people opportunities and options to pay these things, and that's very appreciative of the community. We're not there to just hit them up, we're there to help them out, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That one, there you go.
We just feel better now.
Say you never got a round of applause.
All right, so I believe you have Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem Saldana, you had a question on item 20, TML IRP?
Yes, TML IRP, they are our insurance for property, liability, errors and omissions, flood, and vehicles.
Now, on those, we went with TML IRP back then because they were our best opportunity, and I know that a lot of people end up with TML because they have to, but what was this one about? Was this because we had to, or was it because it was the best opportunity at the time?
We've had TML
Forever?
for a long time, yes. They're a risk pool, so I think a lot of.
Yes, a lot of people put into it. Okay, so we're good with it.
Yes.
Go ahead, yes.
And just because I like reading this stuff, it's just so fast. But on the auto policy, I mean, there's like recreation has like a 23-year-old van that's on there, and if we're, I just wonder if we're still using that or if they're on the auction list and we're still paying premiums on it or not. So I just wanna make sure that everything that we're insuring is actually something we use.
Every year, yes, every year I actually go through a re-rate, and I go through every vehicle, every property to make sure that it's, updated. So.
And I don't think it's
a
a
family of possums living in it.
The van's actually still being used.
Okay.
That's embarrassing that you brought it up.
I know.
Embarrassing for us. We should have left that alone. But I think, just for our education, right, I know it's the same in the county, but it's not like they insure every individual vehicle, right? They say between 0 and 100,000, between 100,000 and 500,000, or is it a single one? No, they're all listed on our umbrella, but is it per?
There's a value assigned to each one.
Yeah, there is a value assigned to each one, but every vehicle I had to input.
It has its own insurance. Okay, all right, thank you. All those in favor?
You also get counsel, to defend you, like if.
Yes.
So
That's part of the program package. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item 21, without insurance, workman's comp.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem Saldana, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye. Aye, all those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item 22, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Health, Dental, and Vision.
Mayor, this one I was seeing here that it's 12/1. I know we're a little far-fetched from the date and to quit I know because I am in the business insurance, our renewal rates have still not been released. Those come in 90 days prior. So I would say that we just
90 days prior to what?
to the renewal. So the rate.
So if we do it at 12/1,
So if we approve it right now, we're gonna stay with Blue Cross, and we wanna be able to shop it around. We need to,
so is your recommendation to wait?
I would say wait on this one, because our renewal rates will come out in September 1st, and we can shop it around.
So the first meeting after September 1st? Okay, that's his recommendation. Would you give a recommendation to move forward, or would you need a motion?
Would it be postponed
If there's
or?
no second, then it could die.
Okay, all right. So I have no motion right now on the floor, right? Again, I'm asking for a motion on Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, with no further motion, the motion dies, or the item dies, so we will continue on with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Again, I think we would take instruction from Commissioner Garcia to come out, what, 30 days?
They come out 90 days prior.
Alright.
So the rates will be released September 1st.
So after September 1st, we should be looking at the rates. All right, thank you. Moving on to item 23, McAfee Insurance, Government Crime Insurance.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 24, Langley and Bannock Inc. Post ETJ Annex and D-Annex Legal.
Make a motion to accept.
I have a motion by Commissioner Garcia, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner, I'm sorry, motion by Commissioner Martinez, second by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 25, Border Affairs LLC grant writing.
That's an open
Motion.
one.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Because we still need to approve it though, I guess, or
You can leave it as is.
leave it as.
Yeah. So,
It doesn't have an end date on it, so.
well, so I have a motion on the floor, by Commissioner Garcia to approve. I guess it doesn't matter one way or another, right?
No.
Oh, yeah, I have a motion by Commissioner Garcia. Do I have a second?
Sure, why not?
I have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mayor, I have a quick question.
Yes, she brought it to you. Yes, go
Hey,
ahead.
on that, on our grant writer, is there any way we can get some type of short presentation, get some numbers, so that to kind of,
Like, what have you done for me lately kind of deal?
The one we just did 2 or 3 months ago.
just short, simple, to the point?
Presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So So I have item, I have an addendum, item 7C. Notice is hereby given the City Commission of City of Mercedes, Texas will meet in regular meeting on Tuesday, July 18, 2023, 6:30 p.m. Commission Chamber, City Hall, located blah, blah, blah. Item 7C, approval of third quarterly investment report.
Dennis, you wanna talk about the investment?
Don't look at me.
I have no questions.
Chicken everywhere. Rich.
Hold on, sorry, let me bring it up, it's not in this agenda.
It's in the same, it's in the packet, where it's supposed to be, like an item.
Oh, okay, so it isn't there.
Is what you're using part of the report? Or,
Yeah, well, it should be at the beginning under the consent agenda.
yeah. Go find my way over there. Right up to the dog bites. Here we go. Oh, see an investment.
It's page 38.
38.
Based on our policies, we are required to present this report to you every quarter. I'm presenting to you the third quarter, which is April, May, and June. Since we're running a fiscal year, our quarters will be different. It's showing you how everything that's in text class, any investments that we have. This is basically what this is. It's just the investment report. It's gonna show you the general fund and any other ones that we have, such as the forfeiture, municipal court, any funds that we have that we're not currently using, they're sent to text class. So every month we do review our bank accounts and send any additional funds to them. And then the last page, which requires the signatures, that one's gonna tell you between what amounts are restricted and unrestricted. Unrestricted we can use for anything, for any operations. Restricted can only be used for to fund those areas, such as like hotel motel can only be used for historical preservation, events that we have, but also it has to promote hotels also, because there are hotel motel taxes.
Programs that bring heads to heads.
Yes, exactly. It'll also include restricted funds such as seals. Seals are restricted to what the notice was put out. So let's say we're gonna use it for buildings and equipment, then we can only use it for that. For building equipment, streets repairs, anything that went out on that notice for those seals, and that's the only thing we can use it for. So that's, the breakdown's gonna show you what we have in restricted and what's unrestricted. And it will also show you what's in text class, CDs and money markets. Are there any questions on the amounts?
So we ended up $800,000 lower than we started, right?
Yes.
Because we had $1 million in withdrawals, 200,000 in deposits, and so hence the $800,000 difference.
Yes.
Okay.
Price of doing business.
Yeah, this is gonna fluctuate in between quarters depending on what is needed during that quarter.
The deposits were all interest.
Yes.
Again, some of these are investments, so we should see, hopefully, more confident that we will see some type of return at some point.
Yes, most of what we get back on is the interest, the accrued interest. In the past year, it has gone up since the Treasury has been increasing their interest rate, so will our interest earned.
So probably the best time to judge this, and review this and discuss it, will probably be at the end of the year.
And the investment, these are low risk, I'm assuming.
Yes, this is a pool.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I mean, this is, we're being as transparent as possible. I think we're doing an excellent job as far as having those numbers. The numbers always available, and as the city putting out that information out there. So, thank you.
Appreciate it, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a motion to approve the presentation?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana, I have a second by Commissioner Garcia, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign, motion carries. Item 11, monthly departmental reports. We have opportunity for police, recreation, public works, finance, fire, city secretary, and HR. Any questions for anybody?
Wow, my notes are somewhere buried in here. I have a request to make. I see the chief in here, so I appreciate I just wanna make sure y'all don't think nobody reads these things. And the response times and all those kinds of metrics, I think are really nice to know. And I like the sort of the added information you provide on training and other kinds of things like that. I like to see that with the PD, because I know we get a lot of the numbers, but I wonder about, what's the status of, say, Neighborhood Watch, what's going on with training, how's, training and other kinds of little things like that, maybe something short to just kind of give us a sort of a sense of what's going on. I know they don't probably keep up with the construction of the building, which is someone else's sort of thing, but just maybe an idea of what's going on outside of the actual numbers that go on that test. So that's all I really have.
How is it going with the police department?
It's coming along, it's on schedule. I think we're looking at sometime in October. They did ask for an additional 45 days, that was beyond their control due to equipment being in backorder and all that, but nothing out of the ordinary.
I gotta say, it's looking nicer, man.
It's moving on the outside and inside. Most
So
of
is
the insides
October
are,
the 45 included or 45 past October?
it's got the 45 included.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so, hopefully everything comes together. There's always equipment related issues and back order and all that, but they've made some, adjustments on the timetables to make sure that didn't, do anything against the deadline that they posted before. So it seems to be coming together. We've had some, very few minor things that we've had to adjust, it's still within the percent that's allowed to go up on, but nothing extraordinary. I mean, we've done some changes to modify and cut back some unnecessary costs. And so it's gone both ways, up and down, where we were, and the target amount that it's gonna cost us, so, but we're still within budget.
I would just add with interest, with the feds, with interest rates going up, that's been mentioned, the cost of material.
Yes.
When we pulled the trigger on this thing, I think that was one of the best things that we could have done, not only for the department, but for the community.
Yes.
I mean, time-wise, we would not been able, at that price, we would not been able to get that done right now at that price. So when we lock that stuff in, it's an incredible job as far as the commission and for the community. So I'm excited to see the final project.
I do wanna maybe, I wanted to talk a little bit about, on the recreation side, and I'm not sure if it's parks, public works, or that, but I know, I gotta say that we've had a marketable improvement on, there's been less complaint calls. So I know we've come a long way, and I know we've had some growing pains, like for instance, I know that on the recreation side, we installed some stuff, and then within a day, they were vandalizing it. And I know that we're taking steps to try and protect some of that stuff. And then I know we've had to take some aggressive steps, locking down restrooms and stuff like that. And I just wanna make sure that that if we need to be a part of a discussion to try and, help alleviate some of those problems, I wanna be a part of it also, I'm sure the rest of us too, because I still want the people to enjoy it, but at the same time, I wanna protect it.
Right.
And I don't know how to, the other day I think there was one even like at the Civic Center, where, and I don't put blame on anybody, I think somebody was gonna go decorate the Civic Center, but they had a problem at home with their family, so they couldn't get there on time, but we were only gonna give them 30 minutes, well, at the end of the day, that may be something, a 50-year anniversary, that may be the last time somebody does it, and I don't think, challenging them on their time is the idea, but at the same time, our employees may have, if that was scheduled for them, they may have plans too, so I can see both sides. So I would say that if there's, I think we discussed maybe some mechanical things or some technology out there that could help us curtail some of that. I wanna make sure that the people know, y'all's people, yours and our staff, to bring it to us, and let's take a look at it and see maybe, for this budget.
We are looking at technology to allow them a keypad that we can assign a number or a code for that event, with cameras to monitor when they really leave, so, because they're basically saying, we're gonna use it for 6 hours or 8 hours, so we hold them accountable. It's a challenge for our staff, we're having to call them from their homes to come in and open the center up, and when somebody has an appointment, and if they don't call us, it's very hard for us to read their minds.
Absolutely.
So it's a two-way street, and I understand things happen, but a courtesy call, we don't know what's happening. So it's hard for the employees to make a decision, and we're on top of them because of overtime. Okay, they can't just run on their own and decide on their own, I'm gonna stay an extra 3 hours because somebody's late by 2 hours. Okay, so that's unfair to them. So we are working with them, we do meet with them and talk to them, and we try to remain as flexible as possible, but there's limitations. The restroom, if they're broken, we cannot open them because somebody might get hurt. And so we met with some of the users today and talked about possibly looking at a key or having staff staying late or shifting the hours. Again, we're also trying to monitor overtime. So we have limitations with what we're working with. It's unfortunate that we fix things and people break them in the same day. And that's unfair to the users. We understand they need those facilities, but we can't open the facility if it's damaged and somebody else is gonna get hurt in the process. So we take everybody's interest in mind, and if you wanna be part of the process as to where we are, where we're going, no problem, we can have those joint meetings. But we do try to accommodate them as much as possible within the realm.
So what I meant by part of the process I'm saying is, don't let the finance side be the reason not. Like,
No, it's not that
bring it,
you are-
yeah. What I'm saying is, if there's some technology out there that can help. Sure. Because like I said at the beginning, I don't think it's anybody's one's fault, man. We can't ask somebody, hey, we're gonna schedule you tomorrow from 8 to 10 on a Saturday, and then they plan to go do something with their family at 11, and now they can't go because somebody's car broke down or whatever. I mean, it just doesn't, it's not fair to either side. So what I'm saying is that let's not let finances, let's give us a shot. Let's see if you can find the money somewhere, maybe we'll support something like that. That's right.
City Manager, Mayor, as far as where this falls on reports, I guess would be fees, right? We mentioned about using technology for some of this, maybe cameras or something for the vandalism. That's something maybe we need to put on the agenda as well, finding some solutions as a commission, figuring this out. I think one thing that I would like to see proposed also is increasing, I guess, rewards. Reward for, let's say someone sees somebody vandalizing, illegal dumping as well, maybe increasing the fees, the reward fees for that. So that's something maybe for future agenda items, I guess, on fees here, but that's something we can discuss as a commission.
We can, and for the record, we've ordered some cameras that we're gonna test for illegal dumping. They also are license plate readers built into the cameras, so that we can do a better job in keeping the city clean and also looking out for vandalism. So we are gonna be testing some technology.
What's the reward fee? Just say I see somebody dumping.
I don't think we have anything at this time in place.
There's a fee structure in place that the Crime Stopper group will set, and based on what the crime is,
Do you know that fee for like, let's say illegal dumping?
I don't know, it varies. It varies, it could be $100, it could be $200, you know.
My thing is that if that goes up, my opinion, because again, we can discuss it here further later, it's something that's part of the solution. If that increases, I can guarantee you, what I've heard, I've heard of other people, I've seen other people dump or what it was, illegal dumping or vandalism. If some of those fees or reward fees go up, I can more than sure some of these people will report and make sure to get license plate or figure out who's doing it.
So it's
Yeah,
also,
well, to your point, we had an incident of a illegal dumping, and they were approached, and they were told that the property owner had given them permission to dump there, and it turned out that wasn't true, but the person asking wasn't really trained police officer or someone that's trained in investigations. They took it to the board, but anyways, you know, this has been a location where we've had repeat problems. So, we went and put one of those cameras in there. A deer camera or was it? No, I mean, one of those, I don't know, Cyclops things, you know, the little, I don't know what it is, but lo and behold, all the people that had permission to dump there no longer are dumping there. And, so, you know, that, I don't know what those things cost. I know they're probably not cheap, but at some point, you know, I mean, that's helped in this one situation. I know we can't do that all over town, but I think that was a good move, and maybe we can. I mean, there's people. Sometimes people don't know. Sometimes people don't care. It's hard to tell the difference, you know, until you actually.
It's worth further discussion.
Yeah.
Well, I think some of those parks being properly lighted, it's kind of hard to report when you can't see. I mean, that's the honest truth. Just with the exception of the Civic Center, baseball park and the dome are pretty much dark. If you go right about now, you're gonna see how dark we can get. So you can't really see towards the bathroom. You can't see anywhere from Washington Street that way. So we need to make sure that we have proper lighting. And that goes as far as back to the baseball fields, because Monica, you've been out there too. You shut off the lights, you can't tell. Most of the snack bars and the other areas that they're breaking into are kind of on the other side of things. They kind of hide, you come in through the back, and then they break in. It's happened multiple times. So we've always discussed about having proper lighting in those areas, so that way the people that live across from them can see. And, you know, they're able to see it out there and call.
yeah, lighting's a deterrent. It's one of the deterrents anyway.
Yeah, we need to modernize, we've discussed it, with lights. Maybe we can put something on.
That's common. Just takes a little bit. Some piece of like green stuff. Any other recommendations or questions? If not, we have item number 12, executive session. Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, Section 551.07, 1, consultation with attorney, Section 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, Section 551.074, personnel matters, Section 551.087, economic development. Item A is discussion city manager regarding personnel matters, and item B, consultation with attorney regarding update on litigation. I have a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Commissioner Garcia, second by Dr. Saldana. All those in favor say aye. Motion carried in executive session. It is Tuesday, July 18th, 8:04 p.m. We are in All right, it is July 18th, 2023, 9:10. I call this meeting back to order, or back in the regular session. I have item A, discussion with city manager regarding personnel matters. I believe there was no action on that. And then we have item B, consultation with attorney regarding update on litigation.
Mayor, I make a motion that we proceed as discussed in executive.
Second.
I have a motion to proceed as discussed on item B, from executive session, and seconded by, motion by Commissioner Martinez and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Saldana. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do I have a motion on item 14 for adjournment?
I move we adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Saldana, seconded by Commissioner Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. It is 9:11 p.m.
God bless, School Tigers.